Okay, so what happened to Titanic's lifeboats?
The boats are gone!
That's a question that I'm gonna answer for you coming up. What's good, guys? It's Raph the Titanic guy Avila, and here on my channel we talk about the Titanic, disasters, and other historical events. So if you're weirdly obsessed with disasters, then I invite you to hit that subscribe button and join our community of Titanic nerds. Okay, so today we're talking about one of Titanic's biggest mysteries. What exactly happened to Titanic's lifeboats after Titanic sank? Okay, now before we get started, I gotta give a common shout out to my man Vince Cloutier. Cloutier, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry, dude. Because last week I asked you guys, what do you think happened to Titanic's lifeboats? And Vince says, if I'm not mistaken, we really don't know what happened to the lifeboats. They've apparently disappeared or been transferred to another boat. So congrats, Vince. I think you're pretty close. Because the answer, guys, is I don't know what happened. Nobody really knows what happened to the lifeboats. But this is what we do know. Okay, so let's rewind all the way back to April 15th, 1912. Titanic is now sunk. All the survivors are just bobbing around there in the ocean, and the Carpathia has finally come. So after a few hours, the Carpathia rescues all of the survivors, and now the Carpathia has Titanic's lifeboats just bobbing around. So Carpathia only ended up taking 13 of Titanic's lifeboats on board. You got to remember that Carpathia was a smaller vessel. She couldn't fit all of Titanic's 20 lifeboats, so she only brought on 13. The rest of them were set adrift, and that included all of the collapsible boats. And then she immediately set sail to New York, and she arrived there on April 18th, 1912. Now, upon arriving in New York, the Carpathia steamed past the Statue of Liberty, and she steamed past her berth at Pier 54, and she went straight to where Titanic would have docked, at Pier 59, the White Star Line berth. She dropped off Titanic's lifeboats, and then she went back to Pier 54, where all the survivors and passengers disembarked. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit sketchy. So now that Titanic's lifeboats are in the White Star Line berth in New York, Pier 59, the very next day, or I believe a couple of days afterwards, White Star Line employees went to Titanic's lifeboats and they began removing all of Titanic's nameplates. Anything that had the name Titanic on there and the White Star Line flags, all of that they removed from the lifeboats. And according to one White Star Line employee, when he got to lifeboat number 8, he noticed that the nameplate was already gone. We later learned that this nameplate was removed by a sailor named Thomas Jones. He was saved on lifeboat number 8, and he eventually ended up mailing that nameplate to the Countess of Rothes, along with a letter thanking her. You know, they developed a bond during the sinking. She had sent him a letter and he sent a letter back. I'll read you the letter. This is what the letter says. So Thomas Jones writes to the Countess of Rothes, "My lady, I beg to ask your acceptance of the number of my boat from which you were taken on board SS Carpathia. This number is the original taken from the boat by myself. In asking you to accept the same, I do so in respect for your courage under so terrifying circumstances. Trusting you are now fully recovered to health, I am your obedient servant, Tom Jones, AB, late SS Titanic." That was lovely. I don't know why we don't write letters like that anymore. Anyway, after the White Star Line employees went to the lifeboats and removed all the markings, it's believed that the lifeboats were stored somewhere on the pier. They were left there for a couple of days. Then it was reported that souvenir hunters were on the prowl. They were looking for Titanic's lifeboats, trying to see if they can take any Titanic memorabilia to sell it. Immediately after Titanic sank, people tried cashing in on that. People were selling pictures, anything that they could find, they were trying to sell to capitalize on the disaster, unfortunately. So it's natural that you would have souvenir hunters try and get whatever they could find so they could sell it. So because of this, some people believe that the White Star Line saw that and they just decided to get rid of the boats. They destroyed the boats. However, that being said, many other people believe that the lifeboat suffered a different fate. I would say that most people believe that Titanic's lifeboats actually ended up on the Olympic. There was a famous photograph that came out with the lifeboats that seemed to look very similar to Titanic's lifeboats They're in the foreground, and then the Olympic in the background. So because of this, it started a lot of speculation that Titanic's lifeboats must have ended up on the Olympic. And honestly, this makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to tell you why. So as I covered in a previous video, which you can watch right there, see? Basically everything changed after the Titanic sank. All the rules, regulations, everything changed. So Board of Trade now changed the law so that every ship had to carry enough lifeboats for every single one of their passengers. As a result of this change, there was a major shortage of lifeboats for all vessels. All the shipping companies were trying to scramble boats from all corners of, the earth, trying to make sure that their flagship vessels or flagship ocean liners had enough lifeboats to comply with the new laws. And the same thing happened with the Olympic. So actually, at the end of April 1912, right after the sinking of the Titanic, there was a big strike. There were a lot of workers that refused to work on the Olympic and many other ships because they didn't feel safe, right? They wanted changes to be applied. They wanted to make sure that there were enough lifeboats. So because of this, there were 40 collapsible lifeboats that were transferred from troop ships onto the Olympic. However, a lot of these lifeboats were in really, really bad condition. They were rotten, they were cracked, they were not in working condition. So people obviously complained. Anyway, there was a lot of drama that happened with the Olympic and people quit, and then there were arrests made because people were striking. But long story short, we could clearly see that the Olympic was desperate for lifeboats. So it just makes logical sense that Titanic's lifeboats would be put to good use. Like these were standard, large lifeboats, a 65-person lifeboats. They weren't the collapsible boats. So why would the White Star Line just destroy these boats? It makes sense that they would be transferred to the Olympic. And since Titanic was gone, the Olympic was now A, the biggest ship in the world, and B, the White Star Line's flagship vessel. Anyway, in October of 1912, the Olympic was withdrawn from service to make some much needed repairs, to make the ship safer and add more davits and so on and so forth. And as we know, Olympic was then relaunched with more than enough lifeboats. In fact, 68 lifeboats. So this is why a lot of people think that Titanic's lifeboats ended up on the Olympic. Now, personally, what do I think? I think exactly that. I think Titanic's lifeboats were on the Olympic. They're not going to go to waste. There's no way the White Star Line would go to waste. I mean, they already lost so much money with the sinking of the Titanic, and they had lawsuits on their hands. I'm almost certain that those Titanic lifeboats ended up on the very important RMS Olympic. But at the end of the day, I guess we'll never really know what truly happened to Titanic's lifeboats. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the lifeboats ended up on the Olympic? Do you guys think they were destroyed? Do you guys think that they're somewhere out there? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. So there you go, Titanic nerds. Now you have a basic idea as to what happened to the lifeboats after Titanic sank. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video interesting, that you learned something new. If you like this video, please don't forget to drop a like. It really helps the channel's algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe and join our community of Titanic nerds. As always, if you want to see more Titanic facts, I have a whole playlist of my TikToks with a bunch of facts, so you will not be bored. And don't forget, if you guys want to get your Titanic merch, you guys can always get some at titanicguy.com. There's literally nothing in here. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, you guys can get your cool Titanic merch, titanicguy.com. Go check it out. That is it for this week, guys. But hey, just for subscribing, I'm going to give you guys your bonus content. See, that's what you get for subscribing. So what I'm about to show you right now is a video of a lifeboat drill on the Aquitania, which was taken in 1923, which, I mean, it's a couple years after Titanic, but it gives a pretty cool idea as to what the evacuation might have looked like. This is the first time I've seen the video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I think it's a pretty cool video. Okay, that's all for this week. Bye.